Flossstube, Stephanie here, Ms. Oh So Crafty. Today is Thursday, February 9th, 2017. How is everyone doing? Welcome to my 27th Flossstube video. So it has been a while. I apologize for that. I've just been busy. I've been sick twice. Family has been sick. There's been travel. There's just been a lot of things going on. But I have been stitching and I have a lot to share today, so let's get started. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the giveaway, which I promised like a month ago or 2 months ago. So as a reminder, I'm giving away this pattern. I Am the Queen, My Pantyhose Says So by Sue Hillis, along with this one. It's Cold Will Work for Freezer Space, Snowman. And then the second prize is Into Forest Grew by Rosewood Manor. The third prize is Mother's Prayer Quilt by Rosewood Manor. So I have the random number generator up, and let's do the first prize, these two Sue Hillis patterns. So let's see how many people entered for that one. There were 30 entries, so 1, 2, 30. The winner is number 7, who is Ren Ball. Congratulations, Ren. Please contact me and I will get these 2 patterns in the mail to you. Okay, moving on to prize number 2, which is Into Forest Grew. This one was the most popular. We have 101 entries for this one. So the random result is number 88. That would be Edas Lamb. So congratulations, Edas. You won Into Forest Grew. Please contact me and I'll get that in the mail to you. And then the third prize is Mother's Prayer Quilts by Rosewood Manor. For that one, we had 51 entries. So, on to 51. The result is number 33. That is Linda Stitches. Congratulations, Linda. You won Mother's Prayer Quilts. So contact me and I will get that in the mail to you. Okay, that is it. And now let's go into whips. I have a lot to show you. I'll be right back. So in January, I did like a little crazy January type thing where I started a bunch of projects, and it was like a 5-day rotation, although sometimes I did a bit more, sometimes I did a bit less. So I started on January 1st, my New Year, New Start was King Arthur's Court by DMC. I'm stitching this on 32 count antique white Jovelin. And I worked on it 5 days. I started with Guinevere. This is the lower part of her dress here. And then I worked on Lancelot, his legs, and a suit of armor. And this pattern has a good amount of back stitching. So I wound up adding a bunch of fractionals to make those backstitch lines neater. Yeah, I mean, it drives me crazy when like the backstitching isn't, when your stitches peek out from under the backstitching or whatever. So I love this project, and it honestly made me consider just chucking my rotation to work on this exclusively, but crazy January marched on. So the next project I started was Titania. I gave this also 6 days. Stitching this, so this was my New Start Old Stash from in my group, the Stitch from Stash group on Facebook, and so the pattern Titania, I think it was one of the first Minnetonka patterns that I got. I got it in like a lot on eBay, and it was not expensive. It was maybe like $20 for like 5 patterns or something like that. So, and it's at least 10 years old. at least from the purchase date, probably older than that. And this fabric is really old too. This was from when I was a member of the Fabric of the Month Club with Silk Weaver, which was like 12 years ago or something. So yeah, and this fabric, it's a 32 count opal Lugana. You see the sparkle in the sparkling sundown colorway. It looks a bit lighter here than it is in real life. It's like a pretty peach color. And I worked on this 5 days, lots of pink. Actually, I worked on it 6 days because I did work on it one day this past week for a Stitch What's challenge to do 300 stitches. So yeah, that's her skirt, some of it anyway. She's coming along. I really love her. She's a lot of fun to stitch. Big blocks of color, basically. It goes pretty quickly. So I'm really excited to work on this more this year. After that, I decided to take a break from the new starts and work on a whip, which happened to be the Summer Bell Pull by Stony Creek. So SUMMER. So what I did basically is I finished the R block. It took me 6 days to do it. Oh yeah, I guess Tahini was 5 days. It was supposed to be a 5-day rotation. Yeah, so this actually took an extra day, 6 days to finish it. And I didn't quite finish it. This part down here, the swirls, it's supposed to be done in a DMC variegated, which I have yet to get my hands on. I also filled in a bit on this block. Believe it or not, it wasn't actually done. It still might not quite be done. But it's pretty close. So this pattern, this project requires, I have to fill in here, and then in this block, the second M block, I also need to fill in this shell area with that same floss, the variegated. And then each block involves some backstitching, but the backstitching is not too bad, so I could probably finish this in, a couple days or something like that. I'm going to try to finish it in March. That is my plan anyway. So after that, I got around to making another new start, and this is a BAP, or it will be anyway. Okay, so here's my start of a Christmas Village piece. And I started in the upper left corner with the tree farm. So I worked on this for, I think it was 5 days. And in that time, I did manage to do most of the cross stitching. I started doing a border. I'm doing this snowflake border in Krennic 032. The border will also go down on this side, but I didn't do it because I was working this in a hoop. I didn't have any, it'll be fine once I get on my roll frame. I'll have enough room to do it, but I didn't in the hoop. And I guess next what I'll need to do is I'll need to start adding the beads on this piece. There might be a little bit of stitching left, but not too much. Regular cross stitching, but there are a lot of beads. It's pretty much solidly stitched. And then my aim is to finish this no later than March, and then start the next piece, which will go right here, and that will be, I think it'll be the toy shop. I'll be doing 12 in all. This is a fat half of fabric. It is 28 count Stormy Gray Jobelin by Witchell, I think it is. Really nice fabric, love it. So this is a lot of fun. And I did buy some wood dowels that I'm going to turn into scroll rods, so 30 inches. Yeah. Big piece. Okay, so then I was actually planning on starting a 4th new project, but I decided not to because I was getting a little overwhelmed by my project count, and I went back to my whips. And I worked on, well, first I'll show you this. I worked a little bit on the Maiden and the Unicorn by Vermilion. This is being stitched on 36 count antique white Edinburgh linen, and all the part threads. So what I did is I put in all the greenery in this border up here, which pretty much allowed me to complete it, except right there, I missed those stitches for some reason. And then of course I have to do the flower at the top. So that was like, it was a challenge piece for, you know, Cross Stitch Fun Weekly Challenge or whatever, and that was like one evening of work. So not too bad. Coming along. This one, I'm hoping to finish by December. Long way to go. And then I worked on the Earth Goddess by Joan Elliott. This was also a challenge piece, and then I took it out again and gave it like 3 days at the end of the month or something. 3 or 4 days at the end of the month. So here she is so far. This is being stitched on 32 count Highland Belfish from Picture This Plus. And what I stitched this time is basically her arms and all the leaves that go over, and that little butterfly there, and this vine, which is done in Krennic all around, and more butterflies and birds. Those little birds were ridiculous. So many colors in those little birds. So this is, I mean, it's pretty close to done. Basically what's required is I have to do a little bit more cross-stitching of leaves that go in her hair, but then after that it's going to be a lot of backstitch. So I've already done the backstitch on the bottom half, so I'll need to backstitch basically her upper body, her face, her hair, and whatever else. Oh yeah, the rest of this ring here. Honestly, it's not that bad though. I thought it was going to be terrible, but you kind of get into a groove and it's not too bad. So I love this piece, and I'm getting pretty excited about it now that I see it like this. So I am planning to give her a week in February and hopefully finish her. Hopefully it won't take a week. We'll see. And if she doesn't get finished in February, I will definitely work on her in March. Okay, sorry, I forgot to show you something. So the first week in February, I worked on Aphrodite by Mirabilia. Gave her actually 6 days of effort. Sorry for all the part threads. So she's coming along. Basically what I did this time is I filled in the shell and some of her tail here with lots and lots of Krennic. There are 4 different colors of Krennic used in this pattern and 2 spools of the blue Krennic, which you can see in her tail. And then I started working on the skin. So I put in 2 colors up to her neck, basically. She looks a little funny, but you can kind of see her. That's an elbow. That's an elbow. You can sort of see how she's going to be. So, yeah, I worked on this for 6 days, and I kind of felt like I was at a good stopping point then, but it was fun. Really enjoy working on this piece. It'll be bittersweet to finish. I think I'm going to try to finish her in April. So the most recent thing I've been working on is the Snowman and Friends stocking by Dimensions. I'm not going to show you that quite yet because it's just, well, it's on my scroll frame and it's not really much to look at the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to make some good progress before I rotate on Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever. So I guess that's it for my stitching. Was that enough projects for you? I guess there's one more. Excuse me for a sec. Okay, here's something I worked on the 25th of January. I started then, finished it then. It is a Christmas ornament called Christmas Festoon. It's from the just Cross Stitch Ornament Edition 2015. And it's stitched with mainly DMC, although there's some metallic in there. That's a red It's actually a Madeira. It was like a number 12 braid or something crazy like that, or number 9 or something. It was way too thick. I actually broke it apart, like unwound it, and used just, I think, like half of it or something to do this. And then there are little gold beads on it as well. Petite beads. Really enjoyed it. Very fun project. It's stitched on 28 count white Monaco. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's one of the things I'm going to try to do this year is make 12 ornaments. I'm going to try to do one per month. And there's a ornament Sal challenge thing going on with Cross Stitch Spun. So yeah. And let's see. I've been doing some other stuff. I mean, I've been knitting. I started a new sweater project. It doesn't look like much, though. It's, I mean, basically the front piece is hemmed, and I started the cable patterns. But I'll show you next time, and hopefully there's more to look at. And then I made this suffragette sash. Rise up. Oops. And then Women United. Yeah. The bottom is attached with safety pins. And I made this for the Women's March, which I participated in Washington, D.C. Wonderful day. And it was a lot of fun. This project was fun, too. I stenciled the letters. I printed out the letters and made a stencil. And then painted through the stencil. And used a little bit of white paint to touch up where it bled. This thing's not really meant to be looked at close up. And then I sewed, this is like a really wide white gross grain ribbon, which isn't ideal. Like a satin ribbon would be better, you know, for stenciling, but all I could find at the store was gross grain, so, you know. The border ribbon is purple satin, and I ran out of the border ribbon, so I used some of this silver stuff. So that was a fun thing. That was like an evening project, the evening before the march. And then, let's see, I've got another thing I've been working on. This is my new bullet journal. Isn't it pretty? Sparkly. It's nothing fancy. So I'll just show you, like, this is what it looks like, basically. My week. I have chores, other things, stitching, listed, other projects, you know, with little check boxes. And little appointments were, you know, written across the top. And then I have, like, other pages, like, here's my summary, starts, finishes, you know. And I have a page for Stitch from Stash, and I have a page for whips and finish goals and just random things like that. And I really like it, especially as far as like chores go. It's really helping me stay on track with, you know, being on top of things. So yeah, I like the bullet journal. I like it a lot. And I love the silver sparkly. Okay, so I guess the next thing I'm going to show you is haul, and I do have a lot because there's Christmas gifts in there, and I know I'm doing Stitch from Stash. I did actually go to the, I did buy something in January. The, what did I buy? I went to Michael's and I bought, excuse me, I bought this fabric here. This is the fabric I stitched the ornament on. I cut off a little piece of it. This is a huge piece of fabric, 20 by 24 inches, 28 count even weave, and it was like $5.50 or something. So, and it's a nice fabric, you know, it's 100% cotton. And if you're looking for like, you know, a cheap fabric that for, you know, ornaments, or maybe you want to try dyeing or something, you know, go to Michael's, use a coupon, you know. And then I also bought some DMC there, but it was just like 2 skeins or whatever. So I spent like $7 or something. And then this past weekend, I guess it was, I went to the LNS with my friend, and I basically spent what was in my budget. I spent $35 and my budget is $20 a month. So I had some carryover from January and then I spent my February budget too. I'm down to like $3. So what did I get at the L&S? All right, I'll show you. Well, I got this pattern, Hands-On Design Christmas Collection, Part 1. Be jolly, be merry, believe. Cute, huh? And then I got this fabric. This is a fat quarter of 36 count Lakeside Linen Vintage Light Exemplar. When I got it home, I didn't like it as much as I did in the store. I think I'm going to try to de-stash this, like on Stash Unload or something, because it was expensive, you know. Even on sale, it was $27, and I don't like it that much. I don't think it's going to work for what I had in mind. So hopefully someone out there will want it. It's a nice fabric. It's just, and if I weren't doing Stitch from Stash, I would probably keep it, but I am doing Stitch from Stash and I've got a limited budget, so, you know, I'm going to try to de-stash this and use the money for something else. And then I guess we'll get into my Christmas stuff. Oh, well, I got this at the L&S too. Tacky Bob case. I think I got this. I actually got this in December. My old one broke. The little, like, hinges, plastic hinges on the edges, they broke off. It had been knocked on the floor too many times. So, but I don't mind. I got like a good year and a half out of it. So, then I got this in the mail after Christmas. This is 32 count. Oh dear, it doesn't have a tag. It's from Picture This Plus. I think it's called Storm or something. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But I bought it for this pattern here. The Stargazer, which was going to be one of my January starts, but I decided not to because I wanted to do Titania instead because she was such old stash. But I do really love this fabric, and I think it'll work out well for this pattern. I've yet to do a floss toss though, so I got this from Bush Mountain Stitchery. And this is something I got from my L&S in December. It was in the clearance bin. It was like $5. It's just 32 count Belfast Antique White, fat quarter. So I can always use that. And then I guess we'll get into my Christmas gifts unless I find something else that I... Oh wait, this is something else I bought from Bush Mountain, sorry. Let me take it out of the package. It's a little sled, Foxwood Crossings, meant for an ornament, and it goes with a pattern which I should have brought up to show you, but I didn't. Sue Hillis has these new patterns that go on these little things. So I'm definitely going to do one this year. And this is from the L&S that I got on clearance. Be who you are. Say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. I think that's really cute. I've seen it stitched a few times recently and it looks like it would be a fun stitch and a quick stitch. And then I got this at the L&S back in December too. Keslin's Red Merry Christmas. Isn't that pretty? The only problem is it's huge. 321 by 293. It's meant to be worked 1/1 on 28 count. I don't know if I'll be doing that. Maybe 25 count. I'll probably do it when I go 125. Yeah. And, okay, so this is pretty cool. This was one of my Christmas gifts. It's a bead storage case. It's from Amazon, Bead Storage Solutions, Elizabeth Ward and Company. And I have my basically Mill Hill seed beads in here. There are some empty containers, as you can see, because I do fully intend to add to my collection. So each of these little packets, boxes, whatever, holds like 3 of the Mill Hill bead packs. I think this one I'm showing you might be the one I have that's most full. There's 3 beads in here and 3 boxes of beads, and honestly, I'm not sure that you could get any more in there and at least be able to open it and close it without things spilling out. So it does hold a good number though. And I labeled the top of each box with, you know, what it is. Now it's nice because the columns are, you know, slotted, but beyond that, it's not slotted. So if you take one out, the rest will just slide down. So say I bought, you know, something that had to go like in the middle, it wouldn't be that big of a hassle. I wouldn't have to like move like tons and tons of boxes, just a few here and there, basically. And you can, you know, turn it upside down any which way you want. Really nice. I totally want another one of these because, I mean, like I said, this is just seed beads. I have more Mill Hill than that. Or more beads, you know, period, from Mill Hill and other sources. So this was a Christmas gift, hand-dyed by Steph, Enchanted Glen. Greens and purples. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, so excited to stitch on this. I'm going to do a couple witches on here, the witching pixies. And, yep. I don't know how that was supposed to worry about that later. And then I got this fabric for Christmas. This is 32 count raw gold. 32 count raw linen with gold metallic thread. I'm planning to use this for a Santa pattern from an old Leisure Arts book. And drop frame, okay. So I got a few patterns for Christmas gifts. This one is Vinny the Vampire by Glendon Place. Isn't he cute? And this one, Glendon Place Gingerbread Grove. Isn't that awesome? Oh, I love that so much. I really want to start it this year. We'll see. Well, there was another pattern that I got the night before Christmas by Stony Creek, but I don't have it with me. I must have already put it away in my Christmas stuff. I guess I'll just show it at some future day. Sorry. I think that was it. That was kind of a lot, eh? So, all right. So my plans for the next couple weeks, you know, this month of February, I'm going to continue working on the Snowman and Friends stocking, like I mentioned. Hopefully make some good progress if I rotate next week. And then I think what I'll do is go back to the Earth Goddess, give her a week. Hopefully that will be enough time to finish. Hopefully it won't even take that long. And then I'll have 1 week at the end of the month. So I think what I'm going to do is divide that week between a new ornament start and starting Winnie the Pooh #2 by MCG Textiles, and also perhaps starting Fire Goddess if Earth is finished. All right, I will try not to be away from my channel for so long next time. I mean, this was like 5 weeks or whatever. So I did really miss you guys and everything. I wanted to film, I really did, but I couldn't. I was busy or I was sick. I had this awful like head cold type thing that had me sounding like a frog for a very long time. Yeah, so I guess that's it for my stitching, and if you want to see my knitting, I can show you the sweater that I'm wearing. So this pattern is called Vivian by Isolde Teague. It's a hoodie. Yeah. Really nice and warm. It's, you know, cabled sweater with a zipper, cardigan. I knitted this back in 2009. It took a while, about 10 weeks off and on. There's a lot going on in this pattern. I mean, all the cables, and then the background is seed stitch. So, yeah, not exactly a quick knit. I used Plymouth Tweed, which is a wool yarn. Quite a lot of it, 11 balls, so about 1,200 yards, I think. I knit the 34-inch size, which is 0 ease, and it was a gauge of 4 1/4 stitches per inch on US 8s. So, pretty big needles. I wrote that it's really ingenious how the shaping is written into the cabling, and most of the cable crossings occur on the same row, so it's not too complicated in that respect. I did make some mods on the back. Not sure if you can see it. Well, on the back, I broke up the large panel seed stitch, and just so it wouldn't call so much attention to my rear, you know. And I changed the shaping on the sleeves a little bit, and I redid the on the hood to make it bigger, because the way it was written, it was going to be too short. So yeah, Vivian by Isolde Teague. You can find it on Ravelry. I really like her stuff. She's a genius designer. All right, that is it for me. Signing off. I will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching, and happy stitching.